Fubara's excitement at coming home immediately dampened when he saw his wife. She had come in the company of her mother and their son to pick him up at the airport. The tall, well-built, dark-complexioned man grinned as he sighted his slim, brown-skinned wife standing within the arrival hall from afar. His steps quickened as he pushed the trolley containing his luggage. The huge smile slipped off his handsome face at her gaunt looks. Fubara. She breathed his name like a man who had finally found water in the desert after several days of thirst. She ran the short distance between them and clung to him. They held on to each other, and it took a while before she pulled back. He put his hand on her face and looked at her sad and sunken eyes. Feyisara, what happened to you? He whispered anxiously as his eyes moved over her face and body. Little ponds of tears formed in her eyes. Excuse oh, you people should move out of the way now. Some of the passengers at the arrival hall of the Port Harcourt International Airport called as they pushed and bumped into the couple. Let's go home. You people can talk at home. His mother-in-law chipped in. He turned while still holding one of his wife's hands. Mommy, good afternoon, ma. He genuflected, even though it wasn't a part of his own culture as an Ijaw man from River State. But now he was married to an Ijaw lady from a Yoruba-speaking state in southwest, Ondo State precisely. And even though they were both from the same tribe of Ijaws, otherwise known as Izons, his wife was more Yoruba than Izon because her mother was from the Yoruba tribe. Welcome home, Fubara. His mother-in-law greeted while stretching out an arm to embrace him. He released his wife's hand to carry his handsome son, who had grown bigger in the past 4 months. Ibiye, he whispered against his son's smooth baby neck where his face was buried. The little boy giggled. The father and son moments were so wonderful and lovely to watch. Can we go home? Feyisara whispered tiredly. Fubara, who was lost in this special moment with his son, turned to look at his wife's troubled face. Sure, let's go home, he said with a nod. Fubara kept looking at his wife as they all sat down to eat dinner. He had tried to get her to talk as he showered and freshened up. Even now, she picked at her food, and a biggest cry didn't seem to move her like it used to. Both of you can retire for the night. I will clear up the table and feed the BA. If he needs his mother, I will bring him, Mrs. Ebikpade, Feyisara's mom, said. Fubara felt like embracing his mother-in-law. He smiled his thanks as he gently pulled his wife up from the dinner table. He was surprised that she was reluctant. As a pilot, he was often out of the home, and Feyisara would always look forward to his homecoming. But this time, her attitude was too strange to overlook. He dragged her along all the same, and once they got to the corridor leading to the rooms, Fubara held his wife from behind, planting small kisses from the back of her hair to her neck. I miss you. He moaned against her skin as he kissed her. He could barely wait anymore. Once they entered their room, he turned her around, gently pinned her back against the wall, and grinned seductively at his wife. Finally, he sighed. He pulled her close and lovingly slipped a hand under her chiffon top, calmly sliding it up from her belly to her breast. She wriggled and struggled to move out of his hold. Fubara's hand slipped off her skin like a wet bar soap, and he moved back a little bemused. He looked at her face in deep contemplation and concern. She kept her eyes away from his gaze. What's happening, Feyisara? Don't you miss me? This attitude of yours is not right. His husky voice conveyed his frustration. I am tired, she said shakingly as she finally pushed away from the door. Fubara quickly moved and stood before her, trying to establish eye contact, but Feyi, on the other hand, was doing everything she could to avoid looking into his eyes. She stared into space instead. Fubara gently put his hands on both sides of her cheeks, leaving her with no other choice than to look at him in the face. Feyisara, tell me what's wrong. I've been gone for 4 months. Don't you think I should know why you don't want me to touch you? She shook her head slightly. Are you sure? She shook her head again. Fubara smiled at her. Don't worry. I will go at your pace, he said as he lowered his head, his breath heavy and hot with passion and desire for his wife. He slightly brushed his lips on hers. His hands were moving all over her in pure ecstasy, but the response wasn't the same. He continued to kiss her deeply, and in no time gently picked her and carried her to the bed. I miss you, babe, he whispered as he started loosening the buttons on her shirt. And just then, his wife pushed his hand away again. Feyisara, what's the matter now? He yelled in frustration. He sat up as he looked at his wife, who had sprung up and was now standing by the bed. Do you know what it means to be away from you for 4 months? Even when I traveled for short trips, I know how you respond when I get back and how eager you longed for my touch. Can you just tell me what this attitude is all about? He said with a controlled voice, but fisted hands on the bed. Feyi stood unresponsive, looking rather at the floor. Come on, you are driving me crazy, he yelled as he hit the mattress in frustration. Don't shout at me, Fubara. I just can't do this, she whispered, her hands flaring. And why can't you? We are married. I've been away for 4 months, he shouted again. He stood up and moved to where she stood. He touched her forehead in concern. Feyisara, are you ill? Do you have a terminal disease? He asked in a frightened voice as he gazed at her face in deep concern. A big wail escaped her mouth as he touched and asked about her well-being. I am pregnant, she shouted in exasperation. The room became quiet. After some seconds, Fubara burst into a comical laugh. You're pregnant? Feyisara looked at him with haunted eyes that looked like they belonged to a woman in her 60s rather than one in her late 20s. I am pregnant, she repeated. Fubara scanned her from her face to her flat tummy. He tried to touch it, but she pushed his hand away. At 4 months, Ibiye's pregnancy was more noticeable, but this one isn't even visible. You should be about 5 months gone now, he said in deep thoughts. I, I, I am 2 months pregnant.